fishing at long range is something that I've always loved doing in my fishing, but yeah, I have enjoyed it all through my sort of fishing years, and it's definitely, undoubtedly, taught me a lot of extra carp along the way. Do the dance. You couldn't literally make it up, could you? You join me down in the southwest at Durley Reservoir. It's a massive reservoir. It's 88 odd acres, I think, nearly 90 acres in size when it's full up. And it is home to some beautiful carp. The fishing on here is the style that I love doing, fishing a long way out, you know, in excess of 150 yards up to as far as you can chuck with the conditions. And that sort of brings me on to sort of why we're here really, is to look at distance fishing and how you could put that into your own fishing, looking at the hardware and the kit that you need to do it well, comfortably. I mean, there are loads of these big reservoirs up and down the country that are home to loads of carp. Hopefully you can take something from this video, put it into your own fishing, catch you a few extra fish if you're venturing out to a bigger water, just like this one.
Look at that on that carp.
You're in. No, he's done yet.
There he is, 40 pounds.
This lake is without a doubt one of the biggest challenges.
Wow, how about that then?
Yes, mate.
Look at that, 40 pound, such a special venue.
How's that for a start?
Look, boy slipping back. There we go, look at that.
Presentation ensured by using hyperbox on soft hinge.
Oh, I can't wait to get done.
The swim that I'm fishing for this trip it's a decent swim. It's peg 11, which is sort of one of the better pegs on the reservoir, and I'm just sort of gearing up to get ready fishing. And typically, sort of with big reservoirs, the bottom can actually be quite barren. There's not, like this particular reservoir, there's not a lot of weed or anything, so I haven't really got to worry too much about the spot that I'm fishing. I can almost choose where I want to fish. The key thing for me will be the distance that I fish, that I choose to fish, and the feature as such will be my bait, because like much of the bottom is all very much the same throughout the reservoir. It's just deeper one end next to the dam, which is where we're fishing today. And then obviously as you go up the reservoir, it will just get shallower and shallower. And this is a good peg that I'm in, does a lot of fish, so it's a really good point, you know, good point to start. I've had sort of a flick out, got a feel for the distance that I'm gonna fish, because we've got a nice steady breeze just blowing into my face here. And I've clipped it up. I'm happy with what the bottom feels like there, which, you know, it is very much the much. And all I need to do is just basically pick a point on the horizon that I'm going to be aiming towards. And that's me, yeah, I can get some bait in. So I'm gonna wrap this rod up just to see how far that I'm gonna set this and set my actual baited spot up out into the reservoir. Well, I've whipped that round the sticks and I'm gonna fish my fishing rods at 170 yards. That's a nice comfortable distance for me today with this wind in my face. I can get any size hook bait because I don't know how bad the bream are going to be, if they're going to be down this end of the lake or not. But if I want to put a bigger or tougher hook bait on, I can do that and it's not going to affect my distance. And then on my spod rod, I've clipped that 7 foot short of where my fishing rods will be. And that's simply because we're fishing down the dam end and it's around sort of 17, 18 foot deep out there. So that's just to allow for that. And that's perfect. And now I'm going to get some bait out there. fishing big reservoirs like where I am today, obviously they're sort of big natural style venues. I mean, this was built in the 1930s, and they don't, although they get managed, like as in the banks and stuff, the actual reservoir itself doesn't really get managed. So like in terms of fish stocks, so you're dealing with everything. You've got like pike, perch, roach. Here there's a lot of bream, and you know, along with the carp as well. So it's a dead simple approach for me. I've just got mixed size boilies. I've got some SLK and some S7 in there, mixed sizes, and I've soaked this in a little bit of water overnight. It does two things. One, it makes the bait seem like it's been in the water longer than it has, and two, it just gives those boilies a little bit of extra weight, which will help me for the distance that I'm fishing at. Yeah, I don't particularly want to encourage any nuisance fish. The bream have finished spawning, so I can imagine them being a bit ravenous now. So if I was to introduce any pellets that would go soft and mushy or crush these boilies up, then there's a good chance that could encourage the bream. I do think we're going to catch a few bream anyway, just because of the nature of the reservoir. Obviously, you can tailor this to suit wherever you're going personally. Like if you're going somewhere, say for example, like maybe Drayton Reservoir, which holds a lot of carp, but not a lot of nuisance fish. There's only a few roach, there's no bream or tench or anything like that in there. Then you could introduce some corn or some pellets, and maybe introduce some liquid as well into that. So you can tailor that to your needs depending on the research that you do on the venue that you're going to. But for today, it's just boilies with a few tigers. So I set about getting some bait out there, which is all done now. And I'm now gonna get my fishing rods out over the top. I'm not expecting any carp early on. This reservoir, you catch a lot of fish really late on, like sometimes in the last hour, 40 minutes. You could wait all day and then it'll be like bang, bang, bang. You get a few bites just before you've got to be off the reservoir. I'm expecting a bream or two because they're normally straight on the bait. So we'll just see what happens. But yeah, we'll get these rods out and get out there in the pond fishing. Nice. As expected, gone and got myself a brem. Yeah, I knew it was coming. There's a few bream in here, so it's always to be expected. They always come over that feed sort of pretty quickly just after you fed. So I'm expecting a couple of these, especially yeah, until we get towards the afternoon when those carp should start creeping about. It's looking good for it. Nice day to be out on the bank. It's perfect weather. Nice and comfortable. There she is. No thank you, not today. One for the Moz.
What's that?
That's Moz's kind of fish, that. He'd be proud of that.
Give you a nudge, wouldn't it?
Give you a little nudge, yeah. as expected, it's been fairly quiet other than the odd bream that I've had through the day. It's coming up to just a couple of 3 hours before the gate closes. So what I'm going to do is quickly whip these in, get 3 fresh hook baits on, get them back out to where I've been baiting up. Hopefully we can get a carp or 2 later on, which would be really nice. Come on. Wind in about 5,000 turns. It's perfect time for me just to sort of run through what balance setup I use for fishing at ultra range or a long way out. And I've got a 13-foot rod. They're 13 foot for a reason. They've been designed to fish a very, very long way out. And yeah, I've got a 13-foot 4-pound test curve rod. I've got 12,000 XE reel, and on there I've got some fluorescent line. And this is just going to enable me when I'm playing any fish, or I want to see where my line is in regards to where I've been baiting up. I can see it really nice and easy. Keep an eye on that. It makes no difference to the fishing at all. I use this sort of coloured line in my continental fishing a lot, and I've got that in 0.26 diameter, so 10 pound, and then I've got a 50 pound spom leader on there, and all I've done is tied my shock leader on, and I got about 4 turns on the reel, and then I cut the leader off at the spigot, and then that works out about right for when I'm casting. And this is the perfect combination for fishing right out in the pond. Right, well, I'm going to bang these 3 rods out into the area that I'm fishing. See if we can catch ourselves a carp. Just had a lovely bream. It's not ideal. And it's a good opportunity just to talk a little bit about technique and just casting in general. I've always found that if you hold the rod at a 45-degree angle and just have a nice drop down to sort of level with your butt eye, that's normally about right. Obviously you just got to bear in mind what the bank's doing behind you. If you're obviously on a slope, you might have no choice but to have a shorter drop, and if the bank's running away from you, then happy days, you can have a longer drop, or you know, you can sort of drop back right behind you. And then everybody's a little bit different, but just make sure you get the rod right up above your head. Don't be holding like the rod just above your head here with the bent elbow. Just get yourself nice and above. You're going to be quite aggressive in the cast, obviously you want it to go a really long way, and then just a simple step into it and a really firm punch. Obviously you can pull as hard as you want with your left hand, so you can just simply step into it, give it a bit of grunt, and then obviously you're out on the spot there. Happy days. Let's back on the rest. But yeah, you have to find a technique that suits you as well. It might require some practice. There's also plenty of people that do give decent casting assistance or lessons, whatever you want to call it, and they're great. Yeah, they can improve your casting no end. But there you go. Well, in absolute true Durley form, it's literally knocking on the door of pack-up time, and the right hander's pulled up. Unbelievable. The weather's been not great, but we've just had a bit of a sort of storm come through, bit of rain, and the weirdest thing started happening. There was like a few bream rolling, then we saw a pike sort of wallowing out, and then we saw a carp over the bait. Yeah, and all has come good. Nice to catch a carp. It's been a tough a tough trip up until now. It's been tough for everyone on the reservoir. There's been fishing. A few people barrowed past us just shortly ago, and yeah, no bites anywhere around the reservoir. Oh, happy days. Come on, baby. Happy days. My smallest ever durley carp. There's no point in me getting out, is there? Just do it here, shall I? Ah, you can't make it out, can you? So literally just caught that fish. I've just unhooked it. And it's pretty much, well, it has just kamikazed out the landing net. That's fishing, I suppose. Saves me getting my hook in that wet. It's literally just Terry torpedoed straight out the landing net. And I'm not even joking, I reckon it was like, it's probably the smallest carp I've ever caught out of durley anyway. So yeah, good riddance. Go on, get out of here. You couldn't literally make it out, could you? Well, we're back again for another day session, and it's looking all right, to be fair. I've just got the rods out and I've just flicked out to the same clip, dropped a few spods over the top, just some boilies and tigers, exactly the same as before, same rig, same bait, same everything. Hopefully we'll be on for a couple of bites today. The conditions are looking a little bit more favourable, and I have seen a couple of fish, so hopefully a couple of carp are on the cards. I've just had a pesky bream. I do like bream, but just not today. But just getting the hook bait ready to go back out, I thought I'd quickly show you my rig. And for me, the most important thing about distance fishing is making sure that your rig is actually fishing, i.e. make sure you use a very anti-tangle rig, and you can keep it. Hi revving Kevin over there, wheel spinning away. I always opt for a leg clip where I can. This one's just a Naturals leg clip with the power tail rubber. It's a great big open reservoir. I don't need to be dropping the lead on every occasion. And I've got that on quite a short piece of leg core. The reason for that is I don't want a massive long length of leg core waving around, because that's just going to sort of shred a few yards off your cast really. So you only need it for sort of fish safety purposes and anti-tangle purposes. So around 14 inches is absolutely fine. I always opt for a 4.5 ounce lead. It's probably like the most perfect casting weight for long distance. And then down to the rig itself, I keep it nice and simple. I've pretty much, well, I have got a spinner rig that is for bottom bait fishing. Nice little 5 or 6 inch boom. Sometimes I use them even shorter, sort of 4 or 5 inches. And then I've got 25-pound link that I've crimped, and I've just got that onto obviously a Ronnie swivel and a size 5 super wide gape hook. And then fishing it like that, I can opt for any hook bait I want. If I had a hair rig, say like for today, for a perfect example, if I catch another bream, then I might want to increase the size of my hook bait. If you've tied up some hair rigs and they're all a set, you know, for a set bait, and that bait's not right on the day, then you're sort of quite limited. Whereas if you're attaching your bait via a hook ring swivel, you can put any hook bait on that you want, and you can also switch from a bottom bait to a little pop-up if you wanted to. If you were, say, catching a few leaves, or you felt like you just needed to put your hook bait up. For this session, I've just started on a 15mm bottom bait with half a pop-up. Sort of I've levelled a bit of the bottom bait off and then just stuck half a pop-up on. So that rig covers me for pretty much all my distance fishing. And yeah, it's just sort of my go-to distance rig. A key part to fishing these reservoirs, well, a massive part really, is being able to put your bait out at the same range that you're putting your rigs out. And for that, I've got a designated baiting rod. This is a 13-foot version that is specifically designed for putting these spoms a very long way. I can trust this rod 1000%. I can give all my power into the rod knowing that it's going to be okay. I've got a 12,000 size reel on there. And with this, I've got an 014 braid. Obviously that's quite a low diameter, but I am fishing a very long way out into the lake. So that's going to enable me, it's going to fly nice and true, not get caught in the wind at all. And obviously I can't do that without having the aid of a shock leader. In this particular instance, I've got a prototype tapered braided shock leader. But other than testing these, I would normally just use a standard 50-pound spom leader for all my other spomming. And this is just to, you know, just to help me get more power into the cast and get that spom out there. And talking of spoms, this is the Midi X. Sometimes I use the large, sometimes I use the Midi X. In this instance today, I'm just using this one. This is the perfect amount for the bait that I'm putting out, which is just boilies. Gives me the perfect casting weight to get to the distance that I want to get to. And other than that, just make sure you get yourself nice and comfortable when you're baiting. I don't want to be bending down, picking up bait off the floor out of a bucket. You know, that would be the equivalent to me going to the gym and doing 300 or 400 sit-ups, bending down, getting a handful of boilies out of a bucket off the floor. So get yourself a nice little stand. You can prop your rod up when you're loading your spom up, and it's nice and easy, save you bending over. And then lastly but not least, when you're spomming, do that clutch up on your reel and then don't touch it. Make sure it's really, really tight, because you do not want that clutch slipping. And I've got my finger stool. This is going to ensure that I put the maximum power into my cast, and it's also going to protect my finger from any mishaps with the braid. And that's it. That's the perfect setup for your long range baiting. Now that's the way. That's the carp. Had a bream on the left-hander, which come off as I was winding it in, and as I was winding that one in, the right-hander's tucked up tight. Lovely jubbly. It's getting into those typical dirly witching hours now. A couple of hours towards the end of the day before we got to be off. And we are into a Durley Reservoir Carp. Happy days. To the there. something about hooking these carp in like a great big reservoir, isn't there? Nice. He's having a go, isn't he? Like a helicopter. Yeah, he's done. Nice. Got ourselves a nice Durley common. Happy days. Should we get him out and have a look? Right. Let's get me Matt. Lovely jubbly. Got another one. Nice. A typical Durley carp. Nice to, well, just nice that sort of my approach and tactics are working really. Typical of this place, sort of you fish solid, get a bit of bait in through the day, and then afternoon, evening time, it comes good. I'm going to get this one back pretty sharpish because my rods are fishing and I've got another fish. It's a little bit bigger in the other landing net, and there's a good chance at this time of the day that one of these rods could go pretty soon, so I'm not going to hang about. But yeah, nice carp nonetheless. Number two, again, typical Durley common, but no, there are some really stunning mirrors in here as well. We've caught a couple of commons so far. Yeah, nice. This one's probably close to 20 pound, if not just over. Happy days. They're on the munch now, so I'm gonna get this one back in the pond, and hopefully there's still time to go. Thought he'd come off then. Yeah, just thought he'd just start slipping a few bits back in the barrow, start packing down. And that right hander's gone for the third time in probably not even 20 minutes. It's hard to explain if you don't fish here. If you like, the lads that obviously fish here quite regularly or know exactly what it's like, but it is, you get the massive lull before the storm and then absolute carnage and got to be packed up and out the gate. Yeah, there's not many places that you fish that are like here. You know, it does play a massive part in your fishing. I first started fishing here when I was probably 12 years old, learning how to chuck a method feeder as far as I possibly could. And yeah, there's another venue down the road that me and Mozza have been to before as well, called UK Reservoir, and that's the same. Grew up fishing there, fishing long range, catching absolute oodles of carp. Yeah, great places to fish. And there's loads of reservoirs around the country that are like this. You know, there's another one up sort of in the Midlands, Naseby Reservoir, where you can put all these tactics into place and catch yourself plenty of carp. Yeah, fantastic. And if you're into a bit of spodding and you like casting like I do, then it's just a real sort of fun way of fishing. And it's different as well, because if you were to go to you know, like sort of other lakes and thrash the water to a foam, or your lead's going in really heavy and hard, or just, you could easily spook the fish off. But these reservoirs, they seem to sort of, the fish seem to tolerate it, whether it's just due to the size of the water, I'm not sure, but yeah. Well, he's kiting right, so I'm going to go net him over there. La Boche. There you go, number 3. They've been a bit lively on the mat, so I'm not going to get him out. I'm just going to slip this one straight back. And time's ticking on. I want to get that rod back out. So yeah, lovely common nonetheless. It's got a cool little twisted scale there as well. Thank you very much, mate. See you later. See you later, alligator. Mars will be proud of me catching that. Yeah. Yeah, 100%. He'd be chuffed. Well, we got about 3 minutes to get out of the gate. I couldn't help myself but chuck the rod back out. I've literally, well, I did actually just have a bream, and I was like, oh, that's just ruined my chances of, you know, possibly getting one more. They seem to be just coming on the right hand side of the bait, and yeah, I literally unhooked it, fizzed the same hook bait straight back out. I've clipped the bobbin on, I've walked 10 yards to my chair just to finish off putting the rest of the stuff in the barrow, and I heard the beep, and I don't know why, but you know when one's on, don't you? The second it beeps, you're like, yeah, that's on. All right. Yeah, look round, bobbin's jammed up tight. Lovely. Let's go down to the docking department. Come on, baby, we gotta go. We're late to get out the gate. Look at him gulping. Turn around this way. Nice. This is the last one of the trip for me. I have got to get my skates on, packed up, and across that damn wall. But I hope you've enjoyed this video and you can take something from it and put it into your own fishing. Catch yourself a few lovely carp like this one. But yeah, if you'd like to watch any more videos, make sure you subscribe to the channel. You can click here for Horseshoe, where I was last time I was out filming, or you can click here for other videos. Yeah, enjoy your fishing.